So Unit 2 first chapter questions చూద్దాం ఇప్పుడు. The most important one here is evidences for straight chain pentahydroxyaldehyde of glucose, whether glucose is a straight chain molecule or cyclic molecule. So straight chain evidences we are going to see. So this question has also come for 12 marks and it is very important. So the first point that we have to remember, what are the proofs that indicate glucose is a straight chain compound, is the molecular formula C6H12O6. And the second point, when we oxidize glucose with the help of bromine water, it converts, and that shows that it contains aldehyde group. So bromine water is an oxidizing agent that converts aldehydes. So this confirms that glucose is having aldehyde group. Then acetylation. Acetylation is the addition of acetic anhydride to the molecule. When acetic anhydride is added, if a compound contains hydroxyl groups, OH groups, then they are converted into, they are added with acetyl groups, OCOCH3. So this, because of that, we understand that glucose has 5 hydroxy groups in its structure, and reduction gives sorbitol. Now this is an alcohol, that means reduction of aldehydes gives alcohols. Now this confirms that it has an aldehyde group. Then reaction with Benedict's reagent and Felling's reagent, it tells that it is a reducing sugar. So all these points, all these 4 points will make us understand that glucose is a straight chain compound which has 2 forms, D and L. That means the 5th carbon has D-glucose has hydroxy group on the right side and L-glucose has hydroxy group on the left side. So this evidences show that glucose is a straight chain compound. So to remember this, we have a small abbreviation here, MAHRF. M is the molecular formula, then A is aldehyde, gets converted in the presence of oxidized with bromine water. Then hydroxy group, how many hydroxy groups are present? Reaction with acetic anhydride, then reduction, then reaction with Felling's reagent. Now all these 5 points if we write, then the answer is done. So this is how we confirm that glucose is a straight chain compound. Let us see the next question. Killian-Fischer synthesis and Ruff's degradation. Actually this question can be asked for 6 marks, like part in long answers, that is for Killian-Fischer synthesis separately and Ruff's degradation separately. So both are very important. These can be asked into 2 different parts or combined into one answer also. So let us see. Killian-Fischer synthesis is, you can remember Killian-Fischer synthesis as increasing reaction. That means the chain, number of carbons in the chain can be increased by this reaction. Now here there are some special steps in this synthesis. The first one is cyanohydrin formation. So glucose or any aldose will react with cyanide molecule, cyanide ion, to give cyanohydrin. This on the next step gives hydrolysis. The next step is hydrolysis. This forms carboxylic acid. Then after that, reduction takes place in the presence of sodium amalgam. Then the corresponding higher sugar. If 6 molecule sugar has been taken as a starting material, then we'll get 7 carbon sugar. Or if 5 carbon sugar is taken, then we'll get 6 carbon sugar. This is about Killian-Fischer synthesis. Then Ruff's degradation. By the name itself, we have to understand that degradation is going on. That means the chain number of carbons in the chain are going to get decreased. So this is chain decreasing, this is increasing. So here the steps are, the first step is oxidation of aldose, then calcium salt formation, then decarboxylation. These three steps will give a sugar with one number less of carbons than the starting material. This is about Kiliani-Fisher synthesis and Ruff's degradation. Let us see the abbreviation to remember. So CHR, remember this as CHR, first cyanohydrin formation, then hydrolysis, then reduction, that is Kiliani-Fisher synthesis. Ruff's degradation is OCD, oxidation, reaction with calcium, then decarboxylation. This is for Ruff's degradation. If you remember these two and write the reaction, practice the reaction properly, the chemical reaction, then you will score good marks. Next, that is for Unit 1, Unit 2 Chapter 1. Here comes the Unit 2 Chapter 2, amino acids and proteins. So in the important question here is zwitterion structure of amino acids. This has been asked. Both here zwitterion and isoelectric point, both are asked here. So these are asked as parts 14b, 1 and 2. So let us see. Zwitterion. Zwitterion is sometimes amino acids. We all know that amino acids have two groups. Amino group, NH2 group, and COOH group. So the zwitterion is a special ionic molecule which has both positive and also negative charges at the same time. And overall, because of this plus and minus charge, the overall molecule is neutral. It is not positively charged, not negatively charged. So hence it is neutral. And its nature is amphoteric. That means it can react with both acids and also bases. So this is zwitterion. And the fourth point we have here is water soluble. The amino acids in this form, zwitterionic form, they are water soluble and they are salt like. They have high melting points also. Then charge changes. We have told that it is neutral molecule, but the charge changes with pH. If the pH of the solution is changed, then the charge also changes. If acidic pH exists, then the plus charge, the zwitterion converts into positively charged molecule. The amino acid will be positive now. Then if basic pH exists, then negative charge increases. So that is about zwitterion. What are the points we have? It has both plus and minus charges, neutral molecule, amphoteric in nature, water soluble and salt like substance. Then charge changes with pH. Acid pH gives positive, increases positive charge. Basic pH increases negative charge. These are the points for zwitterion. Then coming to isoelectric point, the pH where amino acids have no net charge. That means the pH where amino acids exist as zwitterion is called as isoelectric point, which is Pi. Then let us see what are the points here. Below Pi, below the isoelectric point, the amino acid is positively charged. Above Pi, it is negatively charged. And it is also least soluble at isoelectric point. Zwitterion is water soluble. Here, if at isoelectric point, it is least soluble. It does not dissolve completely. So these are the points here. Let us remember them. It is a simple abbreviation with DAN SP for zwitterion. DAN, D for dual charge, both positive and negative. A for amphoteric nature. And neutral overall. Overall the molecule is neutral. S is soluble in water. Then the pH is, the charge is pH dependent. Right? Now this is for zwitterion. Next is Pi, which we have NBAl. N is for neutral at Pi. That means zwitterion will exist at this pH, which is Pi. Then B, below the amino acid is positive, above amino acid is negative. Then L is, it is least soluble at its isoelectric point. Now this is the total answer along with the abbreviations. If you write all these abbreviations in full sentences, then automatically you will score good marks or the full marks for that answer. Now let us see the next one. Synthesis of amino acids by Strecker's method. So this question has also been asked for 6 marks, part answers for in long answers. So let us see what is Strecker's amino acid synthesis. So this method is a special method that produces alpha amino acids by reacting with aldehyde, ammonia and hydrogen cyanide. So the starting material are aldehyde and hydrogen cyanide. So both of them react together and then followed by hydrolysis we get the nitrile group. Let us see what happens. So this is a general reaction, aldehyde and hydrogen cyanide, we get the cyanohydrin. This on reaction with ammonia we get alpha amino nitrile. This on hydrolysis produces alpha amino acid, COOH, right? Next, let us see how it occurs. What are the steps? So first one is aldehyde, ammonia, both of them form the iminium ion. Iminium ion is double bond NH ion. This is called as iminium ion. Then after the addition of hydrogen cyanide we get amino nitrile. Then hydrolysis of amino nitrile will produce amino acid. Now this is Strecker synthesis of amino acid. Let us see the abbreviation IAH. First formation of iminium ion, addition of HCN, then hydrolysis of cyanide will give acid, carboxylic acid, or in this case amino acid. So that is Strecker synthesis. Then Malonic ester synthesis is, this is also used for the preparation of amino acids by using alkylated malonic esters which are followed, which is hydrolyzed and then decarboxylation occurs to form the amino acid here. So previously it was addition of HCN and ammonia. Here it is amino group is converted to alkylated malonic ester. Now malonic ester on hydrolysis and decarboxylation will give the required amino acid. So let us see. Here there is an example. First one is diethyl acetamidomalonate. Now this is a malonic ester, alkylated malonic ester. This reacts with ethoxide, sodium ethoxide, and in presence of ethyl alcohol we will get acetylated. One more COOCH2H5 group is added here and sodium is added here. Then when reacted with C2H5 CH2Cl we will get this compound. This sodium is replaced with this molecule, right? Then with in presence of bromine water, what happens is on heating we will get this group here. The NH group will be converted to N3H and COOH. This is acetyl group. This ester is converted to acid. Then all these other things will be common. Then decarboxylation on heating we will get this COOH. One COOH molecule is gone, only one COOH is present and the amino acid is formed. Now this is preparation of malonic ester synthesis. So here what are the steps that we have seen are carbanion formation, alkylation, addition of ammonia, then hydrolysis. So these steps we get amino acid through malonic ester synthesis. Then decarboxylation also here. So these are carbanion, alkylation, amine group addition, hydrolysis and then decarboxylation. These are the steps, CAAHT. These are the steps that you have to remember to complete the answer.